Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. Get ready.
Wait, wait, is it happening?
She says, get ready.
Okay.
No, I'm not ready.
I don't know. People are texting me.
I'm scared.
Try
I know.
the flux capacitor.
That was me.
All right. She said go, but I don't see that it's live.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
All right. Yeah, it's streaming. I can't hear your music.
Whoa, that was a big bang at the end.
All right, could you hear the music? I think I had the wrong microphone on. What an evening of wonderment and technical difficulties all mixed together, and it just really brings it back home. The original gang is back together. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
I'm Eugenia Gibbons.
I'm Steve Casella, and we don't know what order we're supposed to go in anymore because it's been so long.
Been too long.
But this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And we are so pleased to have the OGs back in the house for the 50th episode. Welcome to episode 50.
Yeah. Can you believe
Episode
it?
50.
Episode 50. Yeah. Welcome back, you guys. It's great to have the whole team back together. It feels like a million years ago. It feels like another lifetime since
Yeah. That's the COVID effect.
I'm starting to get like 1 year notifications of things that we did last year and just thinking that was only 1 year ago.
Yeah,
I know.
Only 1 year ago that we started this.
Last week or something.
Like our victorious turn at
Family Feud.
Family Feud.
Right. Well, see, early on, we became an award-winning show.
That's right.
A lot of people lose track of that. Just, so the bar has said hi. We're trying to keep it going. You guys have not been on for far too long. Jen and I are trying to hold it together.
We're trying to hold the ship together. We're trying to hold the ship straight.
You're doing it.
We're bringing in people from all corners of the community. And in the future, we intend to keep doing that. So if folks want to join the host panel, reach out and let us know. If you want to nominate somebody, we've gotten a couple of takers that way. Please do that. We do want this to be a broad-based community conversation, but not this week. This week, we want to talk to Steve and Eugenia.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't know if you guys remember, just to go back down the memory lane a little bit for the origins of the show. The idea of the show is a place, like Tom said, where people can just chat about things that are going on in Melrose, kind of like the way you would chat with your neighbors on the back porch. Hey, did you hear about this or that? Trying to keep a fun, reasonably civilized conversation going about everything that's going on around town. So we welcome many voices. Back when we were in the studio, we had to learn how to answer the phone. We don't have to.
Now we don't have to answer the phone anymore. If I recall, now people watch and we can ask, where are you watching from? Which, by the way, is way easier to manage than Tom trying to answer the phone and manage the sound effects.
That's right.
Yeah, as we just demonstrated, technical issues abound. It's a wealth of technology brought to bear to try and contain the excitement and the content and the personalities on this show and bring it out to
we can't be contained.
Bringing out to the world of Melrose, which is worldwide. We've been to Melrose, Scotland and back, but also people chime in from everywhere. But we do love people commenting on Facebook, talking to us live. We try and keep up. We're going to have the producers, ping us on anything that we need to respond to urgently. And we're actually already, believe it or not, researching a new advanced technology that we're going to mangle on future episodes of the show.
Tune in next week when we have different technical difficulties.
Tune in next week when we go off the rails in a slightly different way.
Exactly.
News.
I think it's time to move it along.
You guys remember
I need
what
the sound cues. Yeah, I need the sound cues. We're like Pavlov's dogs. We hear that news thing and we react.
Makes me excited just hearing it. It's like there's big news about to be announced and we can't delay.
That's right. Steve, we're gonna throw it to you. You know the most about the first thing we want to talk about. What's going on, Steve?
Early voting. Early voting's going on. I'm looking at the script and it says this is the part where I talk about early voting. So early voting's happening. As many people in Melrose know, a lot of you have already cast your ballots. So here's a few of the numbers that we're seeing so far. Statewide, probably already today, we don't have the full tallies in yet for today's voting, but we've probably already passed the total 2016 early voting total, which was just over 1 million votes. We were very close in the report that we got today, probably going to pass either tonight or tomorrow. So by the time we get tomorrow's report, we're going to have crushed the early vote total for the whole state. Here in Melrose, we're already past it. Here in Melrose, we've gotten 7,547 early votes, which is compared to just over 5,000 that we had in 2016. So early voting is just going along at a very, very fast pace right now.
I think it's very convenient. So I did the vote by mail, but then I ended up walking it down to the drop box. My wife has done the early voting. My daughter's voting absentee, I guess. So there's all these different mechanisms and they start early. I like it because it makes it far more convenient. I mean, I don't know why we've been waiting till the last day. I mean, I guess theoretically we're all hepped up on like something could happen at the last minute.
Yeah, I just feel like
some news item that's going to
yeah.
change my position on, the Northeast Voc Tech School Committee vote or something. And yeah, I think this is better. That did happen.
That actually did happen.
As we reported here last week. That was actually last week was the night before I was filling out my ballot, and I knew not to pick the guy who had dropped out of the race. But
yeah.
I have to tell you, Tom, though, if they call you about being the next register of probate, that's my doing. I put you in for register of probate, just FYI. So.
If elected, I will do my best to register your probates with full enthusiasm and accuracy. Whatever that might entail, I would be proud to serve the citizens of Melrose in any way, shape, or form.
We'll be glad to have everyone's probates in your capable hands.
But the 7,000 votes, Steve, that's more surprisingly than voted in our 80s movie poll, where we were trying to demonstrate and explain ranked choice voting, which is one of the two questions. So in addition to president and state reps and congressional rep and other things that were on the ballot, make sure you flip it over to the backside. There's two questions. We talked about right to repair on one of the shows, and the ranked choice voting. We spent a couple of shows talking through the mechanics, and I'm not sure we clearly stated though that this is for the primary and general elections for all mass statewide offices, state legislative offices, federal congressional offices, so congressman, senator, and certain other offices. It is not ranked choice voting. If this question passes, would not affect the way Massachusetts votes for president, county commissioner, or regional district school committee member. So the Northeast Voc Tech process stays the same. But Steve, we were hoping you could educate us a bit more on ranked choice voting and sort of maybe how it, other feedback you might have from your sources, or how it might have changed recent races in Massachusetts, or I suppose even Melrose mayoral race could have been impacted by something like this.
Yeah, I mean, as your Candy poll, I think, aptly pointed out, you're trying to basically understand more about what people want, like more information from each voter. And the big, or one of the big selling points of ranked choice voting is that would let you avoid some of the situations we've had in recent competitive primaries, where you get these huge fields of candidates. The winner wins with 22%, 23% of the vote, and then they're in office for decades. So. And not only are they winning with 22% or 23%, but you can often take a look at the field and at least theorize that the rest of the candidates represent something else in common. So the argument that that you could make about the fourth, or that some have made about the fourth, is that there were a number of liberal candidates running in the fourth. And if liberal voters had been able to offer rankings, that they would have put one of the more liberal candidates in office rather than the more conservative candidate.
So Steve, when you say fourth, you mean fourth congressional district, right?
Yes, that's right. Sorry, the fourth congressional district.
And this was what Rep. Kennedy vacated a seat, or help us out with some of the names we've heard on the news.
Yes, absolutely. So this was the seat that Joe Kennedy III used to hold before he vacated it to run for Senate against Ed Markey. when he left, just as happened up to our north in the 3rd congressional district in 2018, there was this mad scramble of people who had been waiting to run for office or just woke up that morning and decided to run for office. So you get these, 10, 11, 12 people, fields that are running. And what that means when you don't have ranked choice voting is you really don't need that many votes to win.
Right.
First of all, very few people or relatively few people tend to vote in primaries. And then when you're dividing it up 10 ways, you can often win with a percentage in the low 20s. It happened in the race which Jake Auchincloss won in the 4th congressional district. It happened in 2018 in the 3rd, which is kind of up to our north and bending around a little bit to the west, where Lori Jahan won with a roughly similar total. It's happened even going back into history. You look at when Michael Capuano, who used to hold the seat that Ayanna Pressley now holds, when he was first elected, that was his vote total. So ranked choice voting is basically trying to figure out, okay, well, your candidate only got 18%, but who would you have voted for second? Who would you have voted for third? And then, as your poll, your candy poll, or
Movie poll, Steve. Try and pay attention. Try and keep up.
You do a lot of polling, Tom. I have a hard time keeping track of it all.
Well, that's because we had a minor Twitter dispute today about
about
another candy poll that we were discussing online.
Yes.
So I understand. Yeah, there are a lot of
Yes.
polls happening, especially this time of year.
Yeah, but it's basically trying to figure out, if you could vote for your second choice or your third choice, and your person is not going to win, like who would you rather have instead? And there's a system basically where the bottom vote getters, their second choice then gets added to the people who are left, essentially. So you're trying to figure out if you could get as much information about what people wanted as possible, then who would win. So it's a real question whether some of the congressional races particularly, or the Boston mayoral race would have turned out the way they had if ranked choice voting had been in effect.
Yeah, so I should clarify too, because I mentioned something about mayor and the question on Massachusetts is for statewide offices that I talked about there and not for mayor. But I do, my memory in Melrose is when Rob Dolan ran to become mayor. I think there were 4 or 5 candidates at the time, and he won by just a couple of votes in that 20-something% range you're talking about. And he was mayor for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this question would not affect mayoral races, but just to get the concept of ranked choice voting across. I don't know, Eugenia, if you had anything to sort of weigh in about ranked choice.
No, only that I think it's a valuable tool for making sure that the candidate who's actually earning the most votes overall is elected. So
yeah, I ended up supporting it once
I did. Yeah.
Once I studied the mechanics and thought about it, even though I was nonplussed, as they say, about the outcome of our own movie poll, in which Ferris Bueller's Day Off ended up eking out a win after we calculated ranked choice voting. When clearly Back to the Future was the correct answer.
That is clearly the only answer. I think we could run. The time is right. We could run another demo for Halloween candy. We'll consider. We'll talk to the data team and consider putting something like that out.
I love Halloween time when everybody releases the definitive list of the ranking order
of the best candy. Well, we'll see if those theories hold up to ranked choice voting. We'll bring you that. So speaking of Halloween. It's coming right up. Pumpkin people are starting to pop up all over town. I don't know if you guys have seen that. So
pumpkin people and pumpkin creatures, pumpkin
characters, pumpkin whatever you want to make. Those are there's a unicorn across the street from your house. I saw.
There is.
It's looking really sharp. We'll get a picture of that up. You don't have so we're trying to put together some volunteers and some various organizations and the rec department. A lot of people trying to put together some fun things for everybody to do for Halloween around town. Trick-or-treating downtown is not happening, unfortunately.
But trick-or-treating is happening, correct?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's
follow the guidelines.
Follow the guidelines that have been posted. It's up to you and your neighbors and your neighborhood. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But there's a lot of volunteers.
Wait, guidelines have been posted?
Yeah.
Well, I have. They have actually on the.
They're a little buried. You have to dig through them like a grave.
I think they were also posted on the community page, but I'm going to give you my recommendation. I am putting individually wrapped prizes, candy, whatever you call it. I think we end up giving out pretzels and popcorn and things like that. 6 feet, spaced out 6 feet apart throughout my yard, and I'm going to be watching like a hawk, making sure everybody only takes one. So that's my personal plan.
Come by and check it out. Come by and check it out. The library, leading up to Halloween, the library is doing fun stuff. If you don't have a pumpkin, though, you can participate in the library is doing anything but a pumpkin, where you can decorate a fruit or a vegetable or something like that and post.
The library is open, by the way. I was down there today. So yesterday I reserved a book online. It was ready today. I did the front door pickup. It's a piece of cake, by the way, for the library fans out there.
I am a big library fan. I'm waiting to be able to like drop off books though. They're not able to do that yet. I mean, you can return books, but I'm anxious for the time that I can donate books again, because everybody like Marie Kondo'd everything. Books are the first to go. And so they're not doing that. They're not doing that just yet. But anyway, hey, for those of you who have smaller than my kids, who went back to school? Anybody?
I was going to say, some people use books in school.
Did.
Right, back to school this week.
Good segue. Yes,
I'm sorry to deny you of that opportunity, Tom. I'm sorry to deny you that great segue.
All right, so we have a range. We have an age range represented by the hosts of the show of children. So maybe we should hear everybody's experience so far this week.
Yeah,
Eugenia. Let's go with Eugenia.
Go with me, okay. And I don't know if there's a delay. I'm sorry. I have a third grader who went back this week, and the verdict is she's thrilled. She's very happy to be back. Right. She was very excited to see her teacher, who she loves. She was happy to see her friends. I don't know. Kids are so resilient. They're fine. My kids, at least, are fine wearing a mask all day. They're used to it, wearing it when they have to go out. They're obsessed with washing their hands and keeping their hands clean. So they're good. They're good. And I think I feel as comfortable as I can in the middle of a pandemic. We're still cautiously optimistic about where this is going to go.
Right.
Yeah. And my kid is the same age as Steve's oldest.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
That's right. I've got a first and a third grader who are in the Melrose Public Schools. And just for those who may not be following along as closely with all the details, it has been the case that kindergartners and first graders have been already doing hybrid since the beginning of the school year. So my first grader's been doing hybrid since the beginning. It's been working, I think, pretty well. In school time, they have both my first grader and now my third grader. It's going fine, honestly. Like Eugenia said, they're resilient. Whatever's presented with them, that's what the situation is, and that's what they're going to do. The thing that I think I'm sort of waiting to see with Grace, my older daughter, and next week they'll both be asynchronous. So once you're in a hybrid model, that means that the week that you're not in school, you're not doing synchronous learning where there's a teacher on the screen, or you're not participating in live activities the entire time, or in fact almost none of the time. So that's going to be an interesting week. A lot of parents who have been doing fully remote up till now, this will be the first kind of full week of asynchronous. So I think next week will be very interesting and challenging, I think, for a lot of parents. And I'd expect we'll be hearing a lot of feedback about asynchronous learning next week.
Yeah.
Jen, you want to share your?
Mine's easy. We are home. So I have a ninth grader, and she chose not to go back. So we're staying remote. I think, the grass is always greener, and you always have kind of FOMO. So she's a little bit. I think she feels a little bit like she's missing out. Some of her best friends, they sort of decided together, I think, that they wanted to stay home. One or two friends, had some, I don't want to say health concerns, or, wanted to be cautious and stuck with remote. And so she wanted to stick with her friends. I think she loves the commute, is like roll out of bed in my sweats and be downstairs in 5 minutes with a cup of coffee.
We all love that commute.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So we had talked about pod learning and all this stuff, and that lasted a week. And then I was like, all right, are you going to so-and-so's house today? And she's like, no, I want to sleep in, so So she's kind of getting comfortable. I think there's probably a little bit of FOMO to not see other people, but you know, we'll see. So we're staying at home. How about you, Tomcat?
So I have one left in the Melrose school system, and she's a high school senior, and so she's a little bit unique, and she's doing the hybrid. And she went back this week, so the remote learning that was synchronous and going to school really do add a nice element of having to be somewhere at a point in time, even if it's just at your laptop.
Yeah.
Because even though she's quite experienced at asynchronous online, which she had done for half her classes last year, it takes some discipline and self-management, which she was good at, but over the course of this pandemic, it's just gotten more and more difficult. So it's been nice to go back. Interestingly, she has one class where she and other students go to the class and the teacher is not there. They are supervised. So, you know, for whatever reason, it was a health concern or whatever the teacher's reason, she is still actively teaching the class, but she does not go into the school. So that was a wrinkle I hadn't heard from other places. And it, by and large, is working out fine. And the only other thing I heard after that, what has it been, one day that she's been back, that the hallways are very crowded at the high school. And it's not, she kind of said, you know, it's kind of like going to the grocery store. There's arrows and things on the floor, but people don't really follow them. And so I guess the classes are all changing at the same time. And I think they've lengthened the time between classes, but she said it, you know, seemed pretty crowded.
I had thought that one of the ideas was to not move the kids around and just have the teachers move around.
Well,
but
so listen, this is one kid reporting. This is one kid reporting one impression, so I don't want to start anything. Although I did ask her if she took any covert pictures while she was there.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, the kids are not. It's not like elementary school. There's different kids in different classes, so that's not possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it doesn't work.
Well, it is the first 2 days, so we will see how things shake out over the next few weeks. But I do have to say kudos to the district and the teachers, especially for doing their best to make this crazy transition as seamless as possible.
Agreed.
And we'll see.
Yeah.
So other items to cover, because you guys, we're running out of time. How's it possible?
I know.
I lost track of the time.
I know. I don't know what time
we started at 8:30, so I don't know how to do any of the calculations on the timing. But we do have a couple of bits.
Two more things, maybe.
A couple of things before we wrap. I think it's one of those sad news, good news things, right, Jen? I think you might be a good person to lead.
Well,
us
Eugenia, did you want to first talk about the Joy, or is that me? What did you want?
Oh, yeah. So Joy Yoga, who's a community staple, her yoga studio is closing for now. She's been open for 7 years, and she announced recently that she's going to close the doors. So all of us who have taken part in a Joy class or whose kids have benefited from a Joy Yoga program look forward to when she's able to reopen. But that's some sad news at the moment. But we remain, we look forward to reopening.
I agree. We wish her well.
Yes.
I agree. She's a staple in the community. She's a great community member, and everyone loves her. So we look forward to having her back. But we do have someone else who's coming back to the community, though. I just heard recently Adam Schuler is the director of Melrose Drama Program, is coming back. So he had left last year, and he has his own production company called Broken Leg Productions. Mr. Schuler is brilliant. The kids love him. He is a big part of the sort of prestige and the growth of our drama program here in Melrose over the last many years. I have to apologize. I don't know how many years he was there before he left the first time, but he's coming back. He'll be directing the MHS productions, so beginning right away this fall. So we're super lucky to have him back. The program has, like I said, it's grown both in size and prestige. They put on some amazing productions. We have, in the last few years, we've had more, senior kids go off to pursue the performing arts than I can remember in many years past. It's really a solid program. He's great. So we're lucky to have him back.
I thought you were going to come in with like a huge statistic, but that is exciting.
Well, for Melrose, I mean,
more than I can remember.
Yeah.
No, that is excellent, because I know many of the MHS productions are they're awesome, and that's exciting news.
Yeah, they're good. The musical at the high school level, some of the musicals that they've produced, Evita, Les Mis, Thoroughly Modern Millie, they were unbelievable, really, really good. So
yeah, so I hope we
good.
can get back to the live in-person productions sometime soon. Wait a minute.
hey,
But now there's a special surprise guest. Of course, now the host, we have no idea what's happening at this point.
Speaking of performers, OG.
Lift off, everybody.
Is that Bill
it's
Melrose
Bill Butler.
Scoop's own Bill Butler?
Good morning. Happy 50th, everybody. Woohoo!
Bill Butler, you were
Oh my goodness.
You were with us.
What's going on? This is fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell the crowd here to just pipe down a little bit.
It's hard to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
You were with us. You were the host of our original
red
red carpet.
I tell you, I can't wait till we can all get together again for lots of reasons, and that's one of them. So we can hold another red carpet event at another fabulous Melrose event in town.
Yeah, that would be
Do it. Put it on the calendar.
In the Commonwealth, if not on the planet.
So are we on
red
the
carpet?
Yeah, are we on the Scoop live right now?
We are not, but that's something that can happen. We can make that happen.
We'll have to do that. We're going to bring you back on, and we'll have you live. You can have.
Well,
Jen is
still waiting to hear back from my people and your people.
Yeah.
But Jen is revealing we are constantly pushing the limits of technology. And when we were back in studio, one of the plans that was emerging was for Let's Talk Melrose to have Bill, the host of Melrose Scoop, live on the show, but he was going to be live on his cast while he came on as a guest live on our show. And we were going to just kind of see what happened. You're not really supposed to cross the streams, as they say, but
it's kind of like when you're standing opposite, if you're looking in a mirror, opposite a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's
right. But we think it would have been exponential goodness for Melrose. That was the belief anyway. That was the theory. The hypothesis.
We've seen.
We'll have to test it out.
We've seen you covering. I've seen you around town a little bit. What have you been covering out there on the Scoop, Bill?
So we live in such a fantastic and vibrant artist community. So we just did, and I think it's still running right now, the Melrose Window Art Walk. Mm-hmm. And we did a tour there with Carrie Peguerero. Which was fabulous, and we also interviewed the folks who from what's it called, the poetry that's at Alpine Groundswell. So we're also in talks with some other folks with some exciting stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that.
Oh,
everybody should go to Melrose Scoop on Facebook and make sure you like that page. You're going to get all these insights and great tours and interactions with Bill from all this stuff that's happening around town. And there really is a lot of it.
Uh-oh. What?
Wow. A fully COVID compliant TC Rustani is on the show. This is an honor, sir.
Well, from one TC to the other TC, how's it going out there?
It's going fantastic now. This is an honor. Thank you for joining the show. I think Melrosians the world over are very familiar with the OG of talk shows in Melrose, TC Rustani.
The award-winning After Hours of TC Rustani. Got to represent, out there. You never know when some crazed fan may come, looking for an autograph and whatnot. You got to be prepared in this world. You know what?
Yeah, you're able to go a little bit more incognito with the masks now, right?
Right, exactly.
Are you on your own mask?
Of course I did. I have
projected
all over the world.
I love it. We all need a mask with ourselves on it.
You do. Everybody does. I'm a trendsetter. What's going on here right now?
So
LTMM masks everywhere.
Yeah. What
Ooh,
have you?
that's a great idea, Tom.
That's what we should do. Why have we not done that?
I don't
Hey,
know.
hey, TC, what have you been doing to stay busy during COVID, during this time? What have you been?
Well,
up
I've been
to?
watching your show. Congratulations on the 50th anniversary. It seems like 50 years, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes.
It does, yes.
Unbelievable. I've been watching reruns of old reruns of all shows on TV. You know, you can't go wrong with old reruns. Look, in the background of the original well, the second TC, you got a Star Trek poster behind you, Tom.
Yes, the original series.
Do you boldly go?
Yes. I tell you, there's so the old timey shows, Star Trek and others. There's just wisdom. They're immersed in wisdom and life lessons because you don't have a lot of the fancy technology like we struggle to use here. And usually have a good storyline and wholesome entertainment. You've probably been watching Supermarket Sweep 2000.
I'm old school Supermarket Sweep, but the dude who played Thurston Howell IV on the Gilligan's Island movie.
Really? Wow, you go way back. The original.
I don't even know what that means.
All right, I have a question for TC because if we're going to go back to the 80s and we're going to
oh my goodness, another one.
We're gonna go back to the
Mr.
80s.
Mayor.
That thought. Mr. Mayor, the mayor of Melrose.
What's up, everybody?
How are you?
This is like one of those Wisconsin fundraisers for the Democratic Party. All the stars are back.
That's right.
Can I be the Fawns?
You can indeed. Everyone but Chachi is accounted for on the Happy Days front, I do believe.
No, not even Joni loves him anymore.
Hello, Mayor Broder. Thanks for joining us. Holy,
Happy 50th.
can you believe
Not many
it?
things last that long, so this is terrific.
We never thought it would.
Well, you survived because you rolled with it, right?
Yeah.
No studio could contain you guys. No.
That's
No,
right.
it's the Zoom, it's the podcast, it's everything under the sun. So why not?
We're throwing everything we can at it. So, we're just trying to keep conversation and dialogue moving in Melrose, trying to talk about all the things happening in Melrose in a friendly and civilized and silly sometimes manner. What do you think? How are we doing so far?
You're doing great so far, but I mean, you haven't had a lot to work with. Not much has happened in the past year or so. So
Yeah.
I don't know where you come up with your
I
material.
know. And you too. I mean, your job is just so boring.
Smooth
So
sailing.
what is it that you do all day these days? I mean,
Yeah.
there's like nothing really been going on. I mean, how are you passing the time?
I prep for social media. I spend a lot of time working on the lighting and such, Which are
Eating, that sort of
working
thing.
on this. I need a makeup person or something.
So it's been almost well, we've missed some episodes, so it's been a little more than a year for us, but we started with you. We started with
Yes.
the mayoral race. So
Indeed.
so
That's
you've
true.
been a year. It's been almost
150 years ago, right?
That's what it feels like, right? So how's your year been?
My year has been, I don't know if you can hear, the only person who's had a better year than me is my bird, which maybe you can hear in the background. Tends to get going during Zoom and WebEx meetings.
Oh,
So,
good.
Mr. Mayor, it's
We have him on
been
the show.
Mr. Mayor. It has been a long and eventful year. It's been the times have been unprecedented. The challenges have been many, and so if I could, we're going to have to wrap soon. But if I could only ask one question, I would just want to know, which was your favorite episode of LTMM over the last year?
Oh my gosh, I would have to say, the special events count because
Ooh, yeah,
Hullabaloo.
good one.
the fundraisers for the emergency fund would certainly rank right up there.
Yes,
was
good,
fun.
excellent
was
choice.
fun.
So that was pre-COVID times in the studio. The LTMM Dope Holiday Hullabaloo fundraiser, which was a lot of fun.
It was old school. That's right.
Taking full advantage of the MMTV studios. There are other shows like TC Rastani filmed in. It's like a historic. It's like going to the Ed Sullivan Theater in New
completely.
York City.
It is. And staying true to LTMM form, we had technical difficulties that night too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Indeed,
right.
man. You soldiered on, and
Major one.
that's what great media and great showmanship is all about. And just the fact that you could mention TC Rastani and that legacy that cable access legacy, and you're tapping into a rich vein of material. Right
So
now.
I've been in Melrose a long time, and MMTV has been an absolute gold mine for news, reporting, entertainment. And I noticed that a lot is up on the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. I would encourage folks to go and check out a lot of the great content there. And we're trying to help branch out into Facebook and other venues. We certainly could not do it without the support of the community and the MMTV and the other folks getting involved, and folks like Bill Butler sharing the spotlight with us, folks like the mayor coming on to participate before, during, after, since you've taken the job, and TC Rastani. I mean, it's just the foundation of it all. Yeah, so it's really been awesome. And then also our producers, I would like to ask that our producers come on camera as well.
There they
Tom
are.
Shampoo,
Yay!
special guest
Mike
host
Miner,
Linda Apple,
yay!
Mike Miner.
Linda Apple.
Yes.
Hey, team.
Hey, everybody.
Newly aged
Look
Tom
how far
Shampoo.
we've made it. We
Look
made
at
it.
us, right?
These
50 shows.
These
Yeah.
guys do all the magic behind the scenes to get everything ready and get us on here. You guys
Because people got to understand, this doesn't just happen.
That's
It may
right.
look like it's just a lot of
It kind of does just happen.
It kind of does,
Doesn't just
actually.
happen.
That's the problem.
Actually, he's right. We work really hard to
We
make it
work
look
so
like
hard.
really hard to make it look like it's all thrown together at the last minute.
Yeah.
We have,
Well, on that note, I think we need to hit the music and everybody together
dance.
do
it
your,
out.
your
Yeah.
dance.
Dance it out.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Let's go.
Right.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, too, by the way. A good job to all
Congratulations.
the hosts and guests and everybody.
Another 50 more.
Yeah, 50 more at least. All right. Well, with that, we'll see you around
See all,
town.
all your dance moves, everybody. I can't hear you.
We can't hear it. There we go.